Oh, man. Time bomb by Feint. Been a long time. Anyways, guys, we are back. Thanks for watching that break in that session. As we get into the next lobby for the games, we are just waiting on soO to give us the go-ahead. So it's going to be soO versus GuMiho. First map is Abyssal Reef. Again, as soon as soO's good to go, we are good to go. Speaking of that,
there we go.
Oh, we missed the opportunity to use the GSL one. Rip baby rage. That's all good.
Rip. Oh, these little hearts.
Alright, so as we get into the first game in this other best of 5, quick reminder that this is the other preliminary match. The top side of the brackets will feature stats, so the winner fights him, the loser will fight against Jockshi. The question is, though, will it be GSL semifinalist versus GSL semifinalist, or TVT, or will we have it the other way around? Find out, I guess, depending on the score of this series. In the top left, he's actually been looking really on form lately. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the red Terran GuMiho. Had an absolutely good showing over at AEM.
In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, he is soO.
And we talked about this before. They talked a little bit about it during the tournament as well. soO has been doing these weird earlier pools, and we saw this first instance in the round of 16, actually, where he was fighting against Jockshi, and we questioned, like, was this specific to him? Was this weird? But why is he double gassing?
Ravager.
Oh man, Roach Ravager. Sorry, I was thinking Lings again because we saw him do that, but this is actually a different variation of the cheese. Regardless, point is, early pool, whether it's for Lings or whether it's for Roaches and Ravagers, so not quite the version we saw versus Jockshi. Either way, point is, it's going to get messy for GuMiho quick. But GuMiho is going for multiple racks Reaper. And this is something that Ravagers kind of blind counter, so this isn't so good for GuMiho.
Well, I mean, we've seen the Roach Ravager thing on Paladino not work out against... Man, I actually think it was Optimus who went for the 3 racks against it. It was a bit of a tough hold, but he did eventually hold against it, so...
It's not impossible. Like, there's definitely a chance that catch soO off guard, slightly out of position, like... But the likelihood of that is fairly low, and you can't rely on your opponent's mistakes, and that's where Reapers start falling apart, I think.
Well, we're gonna see, man.
Yeah. First one's come out, and again, this shouldn't be too problematic because Ravage is already down. If this was catching them just at Roaches, this could be a different story altogether, but yeah. Ravagers are going to have no problem with their auto attacks pushing back said Reapers. And that's going to make me question, like, what does GuMiho do? Because he's building everything out here, it's not so easy to just pull back and build, like, tech labs or reactors in the main. Looks like the Ravagers actually get that first Reaper no problemo.
That kind of sucks. You know, not certain Ravagers, of course, are not maybe paying attention to the Reaper until it's right up against that natural. Should not be losing any more Reapers to Lings, so that would just be problematic. I mean, he'll lose 1 or 2 to Ravagers, but GuMiho's production is going to be pretty solid with 3 barracks.
Well, so
Reapers are not.
I like that he has started submarine production. For those who don't know, again, just going back to the Reaper for the moment, in case you missed the yesterday broadcast, Reapers have had their grenades nerfed. That is a live thing. It's no longer like a predicted patch. 7 seconds became 14 for the cooldown. And this was most notable, I think, in lower numbers of Reapers, like what we're seeing here.
Yeah, that is a good point. Just Marines thrown into that bunker to buy time for that factory to finish. Once a tank is out, it's pretty hard for the Roach Ravager attack to really work. So that's still ways away.
Yeah, I do like that the bunker came down, though. This will buy him a considerable amount of time. More SCVs getting pulled and forced to deal with this, but back at home, soO not trying to expand. This is still one base, pretty all in. The Reaper sneaking around, this is actually really cool, I think. As there's not even a queen out to fend them off.
I think especially with this low number of Reapers, it's the only real thing they can do. Trying to snipe or take any damage on those Ravagers is just probably get them killed.
I'm interested in his choice not to actually reach for the SCVs in the back. He obviously saw the Reapers coming because one of the Roaches turns around, but oops. This is actually really bad.
But does he have enough army to actually push through? If he pushes through and gets on top of the tank, then GuMiho should just be dead. But he's trying to push through and losing Ravagers. In doing so, the Marines take out all of them, actually, or actually get 2 more, rather, plus a third that had died trying to push in. And now there's only 2 Ravagers left. Roaches are on the way to help out. But there's, he's still producing 3 Marines at a time. This might just be good enough production for GuMiho.
Yeah, Ravager not quite going to go down. He's really reaching out for it, which is a little bit silly, but still, it would have been worth it if he caught it. It's so close, 7 health. Are you kidding me?
Well, he didn't break the bunker. Or salvage, either way, he didn't get past the bunker, and the tank is now out. Now that tank still has to be protected. Yeah, I don't know why it's fallen.
Oh no, tank!
Ravagers.
What are you
buddy,
doing
run.
down here, man?
He should be okay. Okay, I don't know about using it because they might get. Yeah, he's gonna get trapped by the Marines. Man,
I actually really like it on Siege because of the corrosive biles, but unfortunately, again, like it was out of position from the get-go, and not a great way to use that. GuMiho now in a lot of trouble. His production's just gonna get camped by the roaches.
A tank does just pop out again and can siege on the high ground, so it looks like GuMiho should be okay. But like, damn, like that second tank, it wasn't just that it was on siege; it was also blocked out by the Marines. And no, he doesn't actually. The unsieging took out the tank before he could take out the Ravager. That kind of sucked.
It's
but
like
I guess
the last roach. Oh, it's trying to turn into a Ravager.
Dude, oh my god, I think that GuMiho should have had this on lockdown already. But roaches coming in so damn slow. Is starting to work out. Barracks about to go down, so only 2 Marines at a time. Okay, so the tank pops.
Yeah, let's not forget, GuMiho actually managed to pick off drones while this went on. So soO's been on 9 drones for this, which is like what, 6 mining minerals? They actually pulled it off of gas. Like that tells you so much about this. I think GuMiho's got it. It looks rough. Yeah. It looks scary, but I think at this point it's safe to say he's held.
Yeah, when that first tank went down, I was like, no, you're not really gonna lose. Not so much time.
GuMiho. It's the eventual hold, but the hold that matters.
Yes, indeed. Oh, the next map's gonna be Cactus Valley.
All right, game 2. Again, these are best of 5s, not best of 3s, as we've kind of grown up and moved on with our matches. Here in the round of 16. Excuse me, guys. Still waking up. I'll probably break out and bust out that 5-hour energy here shortly.
Can't see you.
What has gone on with the color of your web camera, by the way?
I know, right? I don't know.
I feel like I'm losing you to the 80s. Slowly, though. Not all at once, you know?
It's been so fickle lately. This is without the autocorrection. But with the autocorrection, it gets really light.
Do you know what camera you're using? Like, is it the C20 or like, do you know what you're using?
C920. It's been the one I've always been using, but I think it's getting old, man. It's been plugged in and out one too many times. Or something along those lines.
In the camera settings, do you have it set to auto adjust?
No, that's what I just said. Like, I just put it on auto adjust, right? Watch. Now I'm bright.
I don't know, man. I got no clue on that one. All right, Cactus Valley, map number 2. We're loaded in. Let's get the players go ahead. They've actually both said go, go. There we go. Perfect. Well, they said GG. Same difference. But yeah, let's hop into the game.
Okay.
Okay. Loaded in and good to go. As we get this game underway, quick sponsor shout out to TING, making all this possible. As well as, I guess, a small shout out. They got involved a little bit later to the party, but hey, they got involved. Corsair helping us make sure we got that live finals venue. This has been tweeted about. I've actually spoke with... Oh, wow. So you crazy. I spoke with him last night. The Eventbrite should be up, I think, later today even, as an FYI. So for those who are looking to go, we'll be tweeting about that and advertising it through all of our broadcasts from here till the finals. So make sure you sign up on the Eventbrite once it's actually public. That being said, bottom left side of the map, he is a dirty early pooler, the Bluezerg, soO.
In the bottom right, as a dirty V-Raxer, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. It is the Red Terran, GuMiho.
Yeah, he's it's kind of funny seeing this come down again. Same setup, same play, same thing. I mean, you got to consider last game, the way that played out, soO actually killed like what, I want to say 2 or 3 Reapers early on before that even really got underway. GuMiho just kept throwing them away, and even then, still lost. So if GuMiho makes no mistakes, I'm wondering how much different that looks this time around. I will say though, for soO, less about how much damage his Roaches and Ravagers were doing, but more so on those 2 Reapers that snuck by, that ran right past 3 Roaches that should have killed them. Those 2 Reapers getting to soO's mineral line and picking off even just a couple of drones was devastating.
It certainly helped. And same situation could be happening here. Now, I would say this is even a little bit better for GuMiho if everything went exactly like last game. Because now he doesn't have to worry about like a weak point in his wall. It's all barracks. So none of a supply depot you can tear down. Bug can go behind it. And the Reapers still have a ledge to hop down on if that's what they're going to be best at. You know, if they can't help out in the front lines. GuMiho still hasn't seen what the build is, and soO has only just recently scouted where his opponent was, but his Roaches are on the way now, and that Reaper might just get tagged again.
I'm sitting here like, I'm wondering if he doesn't get the free Reapers, is this even easier for GuMiho? Does the emphasis get put in the wrong direction? I don't know, but while this will prevent anything from walking through too easily, he's still going to need that bunker. That bunker was absolutely instrumental to his defense. It bought him all the time to get those tanks out that he would not have had otherwise.
Looks like he was... SCV was like there to build a command center, but now it's going to repair.
Okay, well, while this goes on, Reapers are going to scuffle and try and buy a little bit of time. But yeah, that bunker comes down considerably late, and soO knows this too.
Yeah, he's got that overlord right there after all. I mean, maybe with the grenades, slow as they are now, he can still buy enough time to get the bunker. And he's still going to have 3 racks production. And the factory, I think, was a little bit faster because the bunker was a little bit later.
I'm actually contemplating right now if this would... Oh, the Reaper can kill the Ravagers. Okay. Already going a million times better for GuMiho here.
Reaper's a good unit, man.
Turns out, yeah. Who needs grenades when you've got auto attacks? I was just going to say, though, I wonder the value in lifting up that 3rd command center... Or, sorry... 3rd barracks and actually pushing off the Overlord, because high ground vision's the only reason soO's able to take this fight here on this ramp.
It's true, it's true. I guess it's just a little too dangerous not to be reducing 3 Marines at a time.
Yeah, that's also...
This can still snowball even after the Reapers took out so many Ravagers, so you do want to still be careful. But GuMiho, wow, feeling confident enough to go ahead and get up to that starport as well. He's producing a tank now. He's managed to fit it into his budget here, and he does send at least 1 Reaper across the map.
Yeah, that's actually... the starport's a little bit scary to look at a glance, but lifts up his barracks just to pull him back. Hopefully going to reposition them. I mean, the bunker will buy time. That's what we talked about before. But the problem is, like, even if you get the tank out, that tank can get crossed about pretty quickly.
That's true. But if it's hidden behind these barracks, I'm not sure what soO can do.
Actually, that's really interesting. Because the barracks are flying, they're not taking auto attack damage. Those could just be that physical barrier, but looks like he's content just keeping the tank up on the high ground. So that bunker is going to fall. Unit's going to fall back out of it. He's running to the top of his ramp, which is not a wall off, by the way.
Yeah, but there's no Overlord, and Overlord was already on that top of that tank, and the Corsair Biles would have come down, but it's got to move over very slowly now. The Marines, it might be worth the Marines trying to sack on it. I don't think there's enough Marines to do that, but if there's like 4 more, maybe it would have been worth it. But 1 tank against 3 Ravagers. Reaper also, I think, distracted a couple of Roaches from coming on over, too.
Gets another one of the Ravagers. Another tank comes out, too, and soO no longer has enough to one-shot the tanks down. Not the fresh and new ones. Goes for the Overlord, too. If he had lost that Overlord, that would have been it for soO, but it stays alive a little bit longer. But the high ground vision doesn't matter. He's going to lose out on these Ravagers in the low ground GG.
That was videos.
So what's interesting about this, though, again, before... Because someone's going to be in chat. It's going to be that one guy. Wow, she's told these games pretty hard. He's had this work for him as well. So it's not working here and now, and it looks terrible, but it has also won games that made the other player look terrible. So I don't think his decision to go for these builds is necessarily at fault, but if he does this again for Game 3, I'd say that's crazy, because it's clearly not working versus GuMiho.
No, Well, he must be really hoping that GuMiho... Okay, so that last game, come on, like, what's the chances that both of them are going to do the same exact thing over again? And they probably both thought the same thing.
Well, apparently the chances are pretty good, right?
So, if it's a CC on the low ground, then that does, help the Ravager build, but it hasn't been so far.
Well, guys, we got to go to a small commercial break as we get into game number 3, so sit tight. I'll be back soon.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, what? We're just coming back. Hey, everybody.
ZvT.
I'm gonna have to remake real quick on that lobby. Feels bad, man. Unless maybe soO. He's not quitting. Is this on purpose? He's building an SCV. What's going on here?
So serious? So serious?
Well, that went to observer chat, just FYI. So.
I know. I'm trying to ask. Maybe. Yeah. Because I don't want to like.
He got a
okay,
depot.
So it's one of those
no,
things.
Let's talk about. He's building a depot.
So okay, it's one of those things where I think we've discussed this before, right? Like, what if he was hoping GuMiho didn't notice that he was Terran? I don't want to be like, oh, you're Terran. So it's like, hey, Crank, do you know anything about these special tactics? Not that he did.
Just FYI too, because Naruto brought up like he doesn't want to show up for GSL. We actually learned pretty clearly during the previous group in the round of 32. I don't think soO's worried about hiding builds by any means. Especially if he's showing cheese like this or whatever. We can play macro, micro. It has a lot to do with the player he's playing against and a lot less about like his builds or I guess GSL prep. Regardless though, it was just a small mistake, so we will just hop into that next game. Or the same game remade, just proper races this time around. Let's get back to Proxima Station. That was funny though. I sat there. I was really like, soO, you're gonna quit, right? Like, because a lot of the time it's instant. Like, we have actually Solar is pretty notorious about this too. Like, he'll just instant quit and be like, oh yeah, wrong race, my bad. But I was gonna bring up in the off chance that he was gonna play Terran for some stupid reason. We don't actually have rules against that. Players can totally race switch if they'd like. In fact, I would encourage if someone could pull it off and what's a Scarlet DRG it up. By all means, go ahead.
The only time it's ever happened effectively.
At least professionally in tournament play, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, who cares if it works effectively in like the other tournament? No, I'm actually trying to think back to like maybe earlier GSLs when some players still did try and play 2 races, if not play random straight up. I can't think of anything. That would have been 7 years ago now.
Damn. We got a lot of people to catch up on resubs and shoutouts, by the way. So thank you very much to TJA 1980, 24 months. That was the calculator joke. Excuse me. It's the one above that is where we left off. Smurfs Are Us 8 for 3 months. Ronin Dude resub for 20 months, saying the big 2-0 is Kate. Hanger Films is a new sub. Nexikuro was a new sub. Thank you both for joining the Base Trade Brigade. Hilo for 5 months, and then just now recently, BJ Arnia or Bajarnia 123 hits us up with a 4-month resub. Thank you all so very much for that support. But as we get into game number 3, he's on his last life here in the bottom left and hasn't gone for a pool first. Excellent. Hey. It's the Red Zerg soO.
And the top right, as the blue Terran, he is GuMiho.
By the way, for those contemplating like about actual race swapping and stuff, I just want to comment on how it's funny. This particular matchup can be so volatile and have the game end at Reaper Hellion, and we've actually seen this quite frequently too. If you were gonna race swap versus Terran, I think that would be the move to go for. Like, do it in a TVT. Just
especially if you hope they didn't even see that you're Terran. They're gonna be like, oh, the Zerg can't really do very much, and oh my god, that's a Reaper. No, shit.
Well, on the other hand, too, though, the double-edged sword here is that they don't realize you're Zerg, and they still 3-racks Reaper you, which turns out actually works for Terran too. So, gonna be awkward, yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things if we're really gonna think about like reasons to go for Ravager all-in versus 3-racks, like I said about this map, and that this map doesn't play well to either one of those. So it'd be kind of funny if they did both do it, thinking I'm gonna surprise my opponent. Because occasionally we do see 3-racks on this map, or occasionally we see like an early pull on this map, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's why you do it. It makes a lot more sense to see them going for the command centers, the hatcheries, very low Reaper build. Finally gonna see what GuMiho had planned for this series. Well, I guess he planned on 3-racksing, so yeah. Well, we're gonna see what they're both planning macro-wise.
Part of the joke for this too that we've been talking about during the breaks was like, would this end up looking like the European group? You have a 3-0 follow the 5-game series right away, and it's kind of on the road to do that. So for me, I'm like, well, maybe GuMiho just locks it down here, goes for the 3-0.
Maybe. It's not the case that soO just gave him a freebie 2 wins and is absolutely going to punish him for it. With macro, GuMiho has some good macro.
Yeah, GuMiho's actually late game. we see inconsistency with a lot of Terrans, but GuMiho's, you know, he's not exactly your innovation, but he's had pretty good late game TVZs for a very long time.
Yeah. I don't know why soO made so many lings. 6 seems...
I actually... You gotta imagine to some degree in the back of his mind he is like, there's gonna be another Reaper. Like, I just know it.
Maybe. Again, proximitation's pretty bad for Reapers, but sometimes you do add it on. I wonder... I guess I haven't thought about it in a while, but back in the day, especially on maps like Overgrowth, you would go for 3 Reapers and a Hellions, and those 3 Reapers would add so much, because they would just regenerate the health and hopefully take all the shots. You don't really see that anymore. If a Terran's going to do anything other than a 3-Rax Reaper, they're only going to go for 1 Reaper, if sometimes not even 1 Reaper. They might go for a Marine first. Yeah, no longer going for those additional Reapers. I wonder why.
People in chat cheering, by the way, for the full comeback out of soO, go for the 3-2. I mean, I'd be cool with that, too. I really like watching soO play, but for me, I'm also thinking about, like, what does this look like? If GuMiho wins, then we don't have another mirror or a weird sort of series, or we do. Either way, it's TVZ versus TVP in... Or actually, no, excuse me, not Protoss. I was thinking the wrong group for this. No, wait, Stats is in the winner's bracket. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, my brain's all over the place. I blame 3 a.m. So, yeah, this could be interesting, because if GuMiho wins, then we don't get the mirror matchup. We don't have the TVT. That's what I was going for. As if soO loses, he'll go down to fight against Jakshi, which would be a rematch of that round of 32 game, except this time best of 5 instead of best of 3.
Oh, yeah, that is true. And we worked that out. We have a tank push coming in here versus a 2-base Spire play. So I haven't really had to talk about what happens here in like years at this point, really, because last time we would see this is probably Art of the Swarm. 2-base Muta has come back in a way from being absolutely never used except by Bly, so that's not too uncommon to see anymore. But only specific Terrans like GuMiho will go for the abusive tank push in the back. Other Terrans won't bother, and to be honest, sometimes it won't even work against people who don't go for fast 2-base Spire. But I think GuMiho realized what was going on. I mean, he scouted the lack of a 3rd base, and there's no 3rd base. He did even see the Spire. There's no confusion about like a Nidus Rumor or something like that. He might still try and do the push, but it's like it's riskier because there's actually going to be units that can reach you back there.
It's a bit of a side tangent.
Go for the main.
I am really sad. You mentioned Bly. The poor guy hasn't seen a lot of success lately. Like last year, he was killing it with DreamHack, right, and then just general tournament online play. But it feels like he's really been struggling lately, and I don't know what the deal with that is because I like watching Bly play.
Yeah. Definitely an entertaining player. GuMiho as well, though, like he could have gone for behind the 3rd base and like amount of harass, but he's playing like a TVT that it almost was. Just drops right into that main base.
2 tank 8 Marines really unconventional for versus Zerg, and I don't know, like the amount of Marines might just be able to catch the mutas coming out because they're not going to be all together, right? Some coming from the natural, some going to pop right here in the main, but the tanks.
Oh damn. Okay. So, good news is that soO stops the rest of the Marines from bulking up, because if these Marines run up with the tanks, the mutas really, I don't think, can help that much. Although there are transfuses, so they're not doing a bad job.
Look at the spawning pool. The poor tanks can do that. There's no saving them. Medevacs could have gotten out of there alive, but rip in pepperonis.
Queens can't transfuse these mutas. They're going to be a little slow, but the Marines are pretty spread out. The Medevac isn't here anymore, so the mutas do end up cleaning everything up without any losses. Yeah, I didn't lose a single muta.
That was really weird. I mean, first of all, that full medevac had low to the natural. That hatchery may have actually died, but killing the spawning pool is actually kind of great because now there aren't floods of lings coming across the end of the game. And at the moment, I think the only thing he's going to have to worry about are going to be those mutas. If the mutas had killed the depot though and opened the doorway for a ton of lings that'd be reinforcing right now, that would be pretty devastating. Turrets come down though, a couple of Marines. I really don't think this should get out of hand. He might bleed out a couple of SCVs, but with 3 command centers, GuMiho should be just fine.
Yeah, in terms of things given up here for GuMiho to do that drop, do that push, it really wasn't that bad. Like, he still has much faster upgrades, soO being delayed, and also this build doesn't get fast upgrades. And then his 3rd command center finished pretty early too, so the only concern would be spreading his units around because his production wasn't that great, but it's already up to 5 Marines at a time, so very shortly it'll be fine enough, and he'll put the turrets down. Yeah, he can actually get this 3rd base, and this is... I still feel like something that might favor GuMiho. He did not clean up any creep with that push, so it is already kind of extended pretty far for not that many queens. But
Herblord's a supply block. That's a little bit awkward. soO's found an opportunity to get in here and possibly shut down combat shields.
GuMiho tries to save it, but yeah,
He
only
needs
still on
to.
that
He really needs to.
5x production. It would definitely be preferable.
SimCity works against him here. Rip.
Yeah. That does kind of suck. I mean, it's obviously not as great as getting Stim, which is a much longer upgrade.
Yeah, but you know what? I think part of the reason I'm not going back to save it, though, is because he went for big drops towards that main, drops towards the natural base, too. Widowmine's going to go off, and drones get absolutely blown to smithereens. 14 go down pretty quick. Drop of the main still continues. That layer is going to be the next thing focused down. Rip.
Wow. Oof. Oof.
Okay, I mean, so you know what? If you're going to give up combat shields for a layer, I think that's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, right? I think this is doing enough damage. Banelings finally roll in here and clean this up, but soO took so much damage. He lost a base. He lost his lair, which means he cannot start to... Oh, no, we already got it. Okay, well, that's a good news.
Round 2. Well, I guess there's not that much left to kill. Feels bad, man.
soO, yeah. So the good news is his lair wasn't necessary for anything very much. Like he already got typical hooks, and he doesn't have 1-1 upgrades anyways, so to start like melee.
Okay, so it may not have been instrumental, but thing is, that's the spawning pool sniped off earlier. That's the layer sniped off now. Like GuMiho's actually consistently picking off very important buildings when at most Terran's trading out for units through these drops.
GuMiho's in a really good position. soO, tech aside, would just be at a loss for his economy. Not even bothering to start any upgrades, though. Focus fire on the Banelings. Going to be off creep, even if they do have speed, so I don't know how effective it's going to be. He's going to try and look for an opportunity to just steamroll. Like, if the Mutas take out enough Marines, the Lings can follow suit. You can overrun a Terran who's just only finished their reactors in production.
But there's going to be Widow Mines. There's going to be a lot of Marines. I guess without combat shields, actually, this is a little bit scary. Widowmine friendly fire ends up killing and slaughtering those Marines. Banelings finished that off, but again, I really truly believe 2-2 with production should be able to hold.
He never restarted combat shields, so these Mutas are extra effective against the Marines. He's finally getting it now, probably realizing, like, wait a second, I have 1-1. Why are my Marines dying so quickly?
The turret's taking out these Mutas, and there's really limited numbers
of them.
To
open the door for the Lings. If these Lings on the top of the production, this is actually a problem we had a lot in Heart of the Storm when 2-base Muta was a thing. Finally, they pop out, start shredding the Mutas.
Yeah, but that's where that 2-2 really comes into play. Okay, sucks not having combat shields, but the Mutas all disappeared.
And he just lost a base. soO just lost his natural hatchery. I guess he can now long distance mine. So that's where GuMiho's Marines were. GG. Okay,
so it is a repeat of the European group so far then. GuMiho with a 3-0. He'll move on to the winner's bracket to fight off against Stats. And unfortunately, soO will fall to fight against Jakshi. Also, oops, I apparently put few too many O's with soO's name on the bracket. I hope nobody noticed that. Because it said soO. It's GuMiho versus soO.
Oh, maybe someone did, but I didn't realize that was the joke.
By the way, so we will be doing the losers bracket first, as we conventionally do on BaseTradeTV. So if you guys are going to stick around, please do. I hope you enjoy the next match that's coming up, a brand new best of 5. But we are going to play some commercials on behalf of our sponsors. So now's the time where if you don't want to watch ads, get up, go use the bathroom, drink, be back in about 5 minutes or so. But we're going to toss off to Ting. For those who don't know, if you're a United States citizen, worth checking out. If you live, well, not even a citizen. If you live in the United States, right? All those illegals, political jokes. Consider using Ting. Save a lot of money on your phone bill every month, guys. And what's cool, and again, I talk about this all the time, it's not a plan. You're not locked in for a year. You use it month to month. So maybe you're between phone plans, or maybe your phone plan's coming up and you don't know what one you want to go with next. Use Ting for a month. Seriously, it's awesome. The SIM card's like less than $20, I think, and then you just, if you claim that credit right down there, $25, bttv.ting.com, there's your phone bill for the month. You get a full month of Ting for free, basically. But I'll let them do the talking. Here you guys go. We'll see you in a little bit.